everybody. It's Dr. Carmen Bryant. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am the host of Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Make sure you go to my link. Look on Facebook and look on Instagram. And there's a link where you can register for the webinar that I'm doing this week. Come on, I need to see you guys. Come on out there and support me. We're preparing for the Atlanta, so I'm doing things to prepare us to get to Atlanta. And this right here helps with kind of decreasing the cost to you guys, so when I do these webinars, when you guys come and join me, it helps me to cut down some of the costs so that it will be, more affordable for you to attend. So I want you guys to share the videos. Make sure you guys come on in here to these webinars. So I have a webinar next week, November 11th and 12th at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But if you go to my Facebook page, you'll see the link, and I think it's in my Instagram. You'll see the link and the video. The last video I did, it has the link in there where you can go and register so I can see all those beautiful faces. So you can do the webinar or the VIP, which also includes the coaching where we can talk. When I'm doing the webinar, I'm also recording the webinar. So I can't interact with you while I'm doing the webinar, and then it won't be open for question and answers. It is a webinar, a class. And so if you do the VIP, you come on over to the VIP. Once I'm finished recording the webinar, then I will come, and then we will have an open discussion and a group session where we can talk about what it is that I just taught. So make sure you guys come on out there and register. Don't wait till the last minute, because I got to get the head count so I can send everybody the link. So today I wanted to talk about what I said I was going to talk about in the last video I made, and that is, does a narcissist recognize a narcissist? So you guys know I can say yes, and then you guys have a great day. So let's go into detail a little bit. Let's talk about this so I can give you an idea of what it looks like. So a narcissist, a person that has narcissistic personality disorder is driven by fear. Everything that they do is driven by fear. I know it's hard to believe, but they're driven by fear. Fear that people are going to reject them, especially the somatic, covert narcissists. Those are the ones that are driven by fear. Fear of rejection, fear of abandonment. I'm going to do another video about fear, used as a weapon. But, they're driven by fear, fear of rejection. Think about whatever has happened. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of abandonment, and they've shut themselves down. So most of the time they're pretty paranoid about how people, especially somatics, coverts, they're afraid of how people view them or see them. They're very competitive individual. They always take a challenge. They're going to take a challenge. And they're very, if you have certain symptoms, like if you have had a disease, a disorder, if you've had cancer or something like that, certain things, there are certain things that you are aware of and you are keen to. So when people start saying that, oh, you know what, I was diagnosed with this, have them check this, so you become very aware of. So with a narcissist, they are, they recognize the symptomology in other people, even if it's just traits, and traits does not necessarily mean it's pathological, meaning a disease or mental illness. It's not an illness, which NPD is a mental illness, but, that pathological meaning that is problematic within their lives and the lives of everybody around them, as you see. So just because you have traits does not mean it's pathological and you have a disorder. If you were perfect, I don't think you would be in this earth being perfect. All of us have our flaws, pride, vanity, pride is one of the biggest things. And sometimes pride comes and it looks very humble. So pride doesn't always look so, in your face. Pride sometimes looks very humble as well. So don't let people fool you when they got pride. Sometimes they look very humble and they're not. They're prideful. But a narcissist recognizes the symptomology. They recognize the traits because it's familiar to them. They have it. Do they recognize that they are a narcissist? Most narcissists don't know that they're a narcissist unless they go up, or they have been diagnosed and been told, or they go up the scale, or we say the scale, or that spectrum of narcissism, those that are well aware of who they are and what they are and how they do what they do. Well, the average narcissist, which is usually low, medium, narcissists, they recognize their traits in other people. And so that's why it's so easy to pick out you're a narcissist, because some of the traits that you have are the same traits that they have. However, theirs is totally on the end of of disorder, mental illness, pathological, problematic. Yours may not be. Another thing is let's say, for example, you're dealing with like in the legal system, and most of you guys are trying to get away from narcissists. No, you just have to learn how to set up boundaries to protect yourself. That doesn't mean you have to be in a relationship with narcissists, and then it's really a matter of dealing with your own fears. Dealing with your own fears, dealing with narcissistic people, because they're all around you. You just don't realize it. Some of you do, and some of you don't. But like, for example, let's say you're going to court for a divorce, and let's say that your lawyer is a narcissist. That's the best lawyer to have, is a narcissistic lawyer. And depending on, sometimes narcissistic lawyers can, kind of destroy you if you do too much. But the best one to have for a narcissistic ex-spouse is a narcissistic lawyer, because a narcissistic lawyer is competitive just like the narcissist is competitive. And when they see a challenge, because you know that a narcissist is going to challenge the lawyer, and when they see that challenge, that pride rises up, and that narcissistic lawyer will purposely, because they're strategic, and you have to understand, they understand the law. So there is an ethic code that they follow, but they know how to manipulate the system, and manipulate and do things to trigger that narcissist, to cause, it's almost like flushing them out of hiding. And so if that narcissistic spouse that you're leaving challenges the lawyer, or, it becomes a competition between two narcissists. You tell them what you need, and you stand back and let them go at it like two bulls, just clashing heads, two rams. And that narcissistic lawyer will legally, and sometimes not, but, will legally set them up for the kill. They will set them up to win that case, because that lawyer is going to win that case, and they're challenged. It is a challenge, and they're competitive, and they're going to win their case at all costs. And they will, and especially if that narcissistic spouse or narcissist spouse that you are divorcing challenges that narcissistic lawyer to a point where they're smearing the name, that narcissist lawyer is coming all out, and they'll tell you, oh, don't even worry about it. You even hear them say, don't even worry about paying for this. I got this. Oh yeah, this is a challenge, and they will go head to head. They headbutt to headbutt. They recognize each other, and if you have two narcissists in a relationship with two narcissists, one is going to be the more dominating narcissist. You can't have two winners. You're going to have one that is the more dominating narcissist, but they will manipulate each other. They live off of manipulation, and they live in fear. Fear of failure, because it's going to ruin their reputation, it's going to ruin their image that they've created. But narcissists recognize, they don't know that they may be a narcissist, but especially if you start calling, which is a bad idea. You don't call a person a narcissist. You're not a therapist. You don't really know all the details. You know what you know from what you've learned on social media and what you've learned, through counseling, but that does not make you the expert to be able to diagnose another person with narcissistic personality disorder, because it may not be narcissistic personality disorder. It could be psychopath or sociopath. It could be borderline personality disorder. A lot of people, when they come into a session, a lot of times the symptoms that they have, point to borderline personality disorder. And then as you work with them long enough, you realize that they have narcissistic personality disorder, or both, or they can have all three, and it's a spectrum. Remember, you have narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, which used to be divided between psychopath and sociopath, and you have histrionic personality disorder. It's a cluster, because the cluster of symptoms are all similar, and it takes a trained person to be able to separate, to see what is the dominant symptomology that points to a particular diagnosis, or if they have more than one diagnosis. And on top of that, you have PTSD. A lot of people that have narcissistic personality disorder also has post-traumatic stress disorder, and some of those symptoms may look similar, just like post-traumatic stress, ADHD. I'm trying to think. Post-traumatic stress, ADHD look similar. So sometimes you can't tell the difference between the two unless you're trained to be able to differentiate between the two. For example, borderline personality disorder and bipolar personality. Borderline personality disorder and bipolar disorder has similarities. And so sometimes people have been misdiagnosed when they actually have BPD and not not bipolar disorder. And so you have to know how to differentiate the two, or they could have both, so you have to differentiate the two, like schizophrenic and schizoaffective disorder. Schizoaffective disorder is a mixture of some of the symptomology of schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, and it may be seasonal. Affective means seasonal, then you have schizophrenia, full-blown schizophrenia. So you have to be careful when you call people narcissists, number one, and number two, remember that a narcissist will look at you and you call them a narcissist, and they'll pick out all of the traits that point to narcissistic personality disorder in you, and you know for a fact that you feel compassion, you have empathy, and you know what you're dealing with. But a narcissist is not going to let and the more attention this is getting now, and more people are talking about it, and it becomes viewed negatively. What narcissist wants to say that they're a narcissist unless they're benefiting from it? So a person that has narcissistic personality disorder, they're benefiting from it. They're, I hate to say this, and it sounds so harsh when I say this, but narcissists, this part, I don't mind saying, but, narcissists are the greatest manipulators that you will ever meet. They're manipulative. They are, they have fear. I don't care how great they are. They have fear, paranoia. And one of the things that they do, one of the many things that they do, they manipulate people, and they find a way to manipulate people. And I said this when I first started doing videos. One of the things I said is, don't be surprised. You're going to have a lot of narcissists coming on to talk about their disorder. A lot of them were incognito at one point in time because it was the thrill of having a whole bunch of views and having a whole bunch of, subscribers. And think about it. If you look, male coaches get, if you look at the numbers and just go look at the channels, even if you think it, whether the person, that the person may be a narcissist and they're talking versus a female that's talking about narcissism, look how many subscribers they have compared to the females that are talking about it. Because, males know how to, and I'm not saying that in a negative way, but males know how to, they've been doing it for years, how to pull a female in, how to manipulate a female, how to make a female feel good. And females are just drawn to that. They're drawn to, oh, he looks nice, he talks right, and you may be dealing with a full-blown narcissist. As opposed to a female, we have that nurturing, that motherly auntie type, let me get it, in your face. Well, they don't make me feel a certain way. And that's the problem. Most people are driven by feelings. So she doesn't make me feel a certain way. But when I go to his channel, and some of them are narcissists, like I said, they make you feel a certain way. There are feelings that wake up. There are feelings, and you notice that you're mesmerized, and somehow you're caught up in it, and wow, and their voice, and the inflection in their voice, and the frequency in their voice, and the way that they say things, and how they present themselves. And some of these folks look like trolls, and but it is that narcissist has that capacity to mesmerize, to tantalize, to hypnotize. It's like you're in a trance. You're in a total fog. You came out of a relationship with one, and you're trying to clear the fog in your mind because you've been walking around in a fog. It's almost like they spew something on you where you're walking around in this fog, and you're trying to clear this fog. And many people who are trying to come out of this get caught right back up with narcissists, even if they haven't jumped into a relationship, but even on social media, because it's there. And it's a competitive thing. How many viewers can I get? How many subscribers can I get? I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to give them advice, but they're giving them advice, giving people advice. Do you think that a narcissist is going to tell you everything to conquer them? Do you think a narcissist is really going to tell you all the details of how to conquer them? And most of them will laugh at you. I'll give you enough information, but I'll never give you enough for you to conquer or overcome me, because you're not going to be able to do that. So a narcissist will pick up traits and sometimes mislabel people. And if you call them a narcissist, they will run down all the symptoms that you have that point to the fact that you're the narcissist, they're not. Then what happens? Now you're confused. Like, well, am I the narcissist? Maybe I'm, and some of them have a good talk game, so they like convinced you, so now you're walking around fearful and afraid, and I need help, and now you're nervous and scared, and oh my God, I don't want to be like that, because they have a way of influencing people. So does a narcissist recognize a narcissist? Yeah, they recognize narcissists. And yes, they recognize the symptoms of narcissism because it's everything that they are. And they can pick it up, they can point it out, because that's how they live. And they always assume that people think the same way that they do. So everything, how they manipulate, what they do, they assume everybody is just like that. And so they're always paranoid with people, and they don't trust people anyway because they don't trust themselves. They know how they are. They know how they operate. There's a narcissist, and you have to be careful when you feel sorry for them, because they play on your or pity. You know, I don't want to be like this, you know, and this is terrible, and I don't want to be manipulative. Now, they may not say that they're narcissists, but but if that's something that draws interest in you, and it makes you want to stay because you want to figure it out, you know, a part of fear is also trying to get answered, and, you know, constantly trying to understand, you know, what, I don't understand, I don't get it, you need to explain, I don't understand. A lot of that is driven by fear. You know, some people want understanding, yes, but a lot of people are driven by fear. I don't understand it. You have to explain. I don't understand. So I want you guys to be at that at the webinar, because I'm going to talk about the justification, the denial, the justification, the need for clarification, which is fear driven. You know, a lot of that's fear driven that keeps you bound, you know, in that trauma bond. A lot of people, even when you come out, you're still traumatically bonded to them. And we're talking about things like cognitive dissonance, what it is and how it applies to you. Things, what I write, hold on, let me write it. Let me grab it. The cognitive dissonance, you know, the power of emotions, because you can feel them, you know, the power of emotions, empathy versus sympathy, you know, and I'm not talking about the empath. I'm talking about empathy versus sympathy and how they're playing you on both. And boundaries, you know, setting boundaries, you know, what does it look like to apply that? And we're going to talk, you know, if you're in the VIP, I'm going to talk to you guys to determine, okay, how do you apply these boundaries? Give me a scenario and let's talk this through. How do we set these boundaries? Okay, are you dealing with cognitive dissonance? What does it look like? You know, when you say need for justification or clarification, you know, what does denial look like to you? You know, so we're going to talk about that. So I want you guys to make sure that you go to my link, and I think it's overcoming narcissist. Okay, so overcoming narcissist abuse.ticketleap.com. Hold on, let me look, because I want you guys to go there and get one of the tickets. Oh, it's overcoming narcissist abuse.ticketleap.com. So overcoming narcissist abuse, one word, overcoming narcissist abuse.ticketleap.com, and you can pick whether you want to come on Thursday or you want to come on Friday. And don't be surprised, you might see somebody in there that is familiar to you. You know, so make sure you guys come and register. I want you guys to make sure you go to my mother's YouTube channel. It is Helen Sadler, your destiny helper. Make sure you share our videos. Somebody needs to hear this, you know, and I want you guys to get prepared, you know, because I'm making preparations now. There's some reasons why I have not opened up early registrations yet. And I'm still trying to get a good location. And of course, you guys know that Helen Sadler, your destiny helper, will be there in Atlanta with me. Telsha with the T on NPD and relationship is going to be in Atlanta. Mr. Marcus Monroe and his wife said that they will be coming to Atlanta. And Ms. Bridget Griffin said that she was coming. And we're trying to get a few more guests in there so that we can have, you know, you coming in there, and we're going to have a red table talk. So you get, you know, on Mondays, if you guys actually tune in to Helen Sadler, your destiny helper on Clubhouse, we're going to have some of those guests there in person for you to actually hear them do the table talk. And she's hosting her own table talk, but is going to be at the event. So you have me, you'll have Apostle Helen Sadler, you have Telsha with the T, you have Marcus Monroe, and we're trying to get Miss Tasha, if she's available. We're going to contact her, see if she's available. So some of the people that you hear talking all the time about relationships, we're going to have them there at that conference. So I want you guys to make sure that you get out to Atlanta, Georgia. I got a lot of family in Atlanta, so I'm going to make sure that my family is going to be there. But, you know, with these webinars, you guys are helping me to cut the cost for you coming up next year, so we can go ahead and get it started now. And if I can get, you know, you guys come and register for these webinars, it'll help me to go ahead and start establishing stuff now before I open up for ticket sales. So I want you guys to support me. Make sure you share the video. And for those of you that are looking for coaching, you're always welcome to email me at drcarmenbryant@outlook.com. Let me know if you're interested in coaching. I will provide you with my rates. If you're inside the state of Washington and you need counseling, let me know, because my books fill up very, very quickly. And so I can check to see what insurance you have, to see if I'm in network with your insurance in Washington. If you're outside the state of Washington and you need therapy, go to betterhelp.com/Dr. Carmen. They will give you a 10% discount for using the link. And on top of that, if you're having financial issues, let them know that you're having financial issues so they can work with you to help you to get you into therapy, because some of you guys need therapy before you need coaching. But I thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys so much. Remember, overcomingnarcissistabuse.ticketleap.com. Go and register for the webinar next week on Thursday and Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can do the hour webinar with me where I'm just doing the teaching, or you can do the VIP package for $99.99. So the webinar is $54.99 and the complete VIP packet is $99.99. And then it is 2 hours, because on that second hour, that's when we're going to say goodbye to all those that were on the webinar, switch over to the group, and we're going to apply these skills, because I want you to come out with some knowledge. I don't want to just talk and give you some education. I want you guys to come out with something that you can apply in your life, especially those of you that are struggling with trauma bonds, because you're traumatically bonded to a person. So thank you guys, as always, for watching. You guys go and be great. Have a great Friday, y'all. Go to sleep.